All right, the Reds, it's the big one. Manchester United v Liverpool on Sunday. This is the preview show from the Anfield Route with me, Gareth Roberts, Paul Senior and Kev Walsh. We're going to have a chat about what we think, what we're thinking ahead of this match. 14-point gap in the table between the two sides. But I think fair to say, and an obvious thing to say, that they're a different prospect now to the side we beat in December, was it?
Yeah, I'd much rather be facing Jose Mourinho's Manchester United. Yeah. Although, I was thinking about it on the way in, that maybe not in this game, just because they're on a bit of a, well, they're on the crest of a wave, aren't they, Manchester United? I watched them against Chelsea on Monday, and I sort of begrudgingly respected the sort of resilience and the way that they're finding a way to win. But I think Jose Mourinho would have made it his life's work not to allow Liverpool to win.
He was good at nullifying our threats.
Absolutely, yeah. And where this week, I do wonder whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will set up like Manchester United should, and I think all Man United fans would agree with that, on the front foot, and have a little go at Liverpool, which for me will create the sort of opportunities that we're looking for. And
they want that, don't they, Kev, obviously? We'd want it if it was the other way around. Their fans want to put the spoke in the wheels of Liverpool's title charge.
But when we were shite and they were decent, that was one of my biggest pleasures, going to match and us beating them. I remember doing it probably about late 90s, like when Steve Bruce was playing for them, and we done it to them the first time, singing to them, "You lost the league on Merseyside," and it was great. And it's great that roles are reversed because we're going for the title now. But
that happened. I remember '92 when Leeds won the league and we beat.
In fact, it might have been that one.
Rush's first goal against Man United.
In fact, it was that one. Yes, so it was early 90s, not late 90s. But as enjoyable as that is, you also leave a little bit empty, going, I wish it was us going for the league and them trying to stop us. And that's where we are now. As Paul said there, Mourinho would have made it his life's work to try and destroy us here. But by the same token, Solskjaer has sort of given him a little bit of freedom, hasn't he? And he's really got the best out of Paul Pogba. Rashford looks a different player underneath him. Them two, they're dangerous against anybody. Listen, Pogba gets slagged off on that, but if he's on form, he's a handful. So
I mean, you look at him as the danger man, don't you? He's the one in sort of the transformation. I mean, I'd be questioning him personally as if he was one of our lads, going, you should have been doing this under the last manager. Yeah. And I think that's an obvious thing to say, but also the correct thing to say. I think he now has gone from the most underwhelming big transfer in Premier League history to you could argue he's probably the best central midfielder in the country now, and that's the way he's raised this level. He's been so impressive. But also the lads I thought they were getting from Juventus. Manchester United fans might turn around and say, well, he's just had the shackles taken off him a little bit, but no, I think it's him being allowed to play further up the pitch. Yeah, I think he's been transformed.
I mean, he's one that we've got to stop, isn't he, Kev? And Rashford's another one. And those two have combined a lot more under Solskjaer than they did under Mourinho. They're assisting each other. They're both scoring goals. They both look happy, basically.
That's it, isn't it? That's what he's done for them. He's freed them up there. We've got our midfield, and I think, listen, if Pogba's on top form, he's hard to stop. But if you had to pick a midfield in the Premier League to stop him, I'd pick ours. I'd pick ours over Man City to stop him. Fernandinho's a good player, but we've got three players. You can just see Klopp saying, can't you? Get around him. Say Fabinho the deepest and say to Henderson, right, you just get in his face and don't let him turn with the ball. And when he does turn with the ball, if he does beat you, Wijnaldum's there or Fabinho's there, right in behind him, and we take it off him. And the way Liverpool play, if we can get that going, we play on that press and the counter. If we can break them down, get the ball off him in midfield and go straight in for the jugular, that could be as much of a tactic for us scoring as it is passing the ball off in the back.
It's I don't know where I am about United myself, really, in that on the one hand I think some of the plaudits have been a little bit over the top, because of who they played. I know they beat Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal, but some of the other games are routine, and then they trip up with a draw against Burnley, they lose to PSG, and they were outclassed against PSG. So, I mean, you look at the record, it's dead weird. They've only lost one at home. And our record at Old Trafford isn't great. They've won 7 of the last 9 against us. The last win there is 2013-14. The comfortable win, the great win there. So it's almost like I almost don't know what to make of them. Like, they haven't kept a clean sheet at Old Trafford in the league all season. We've scored in every game away from home. It kind of feels like we're going to get a chance.
Yeah, and this is the thing where I didn't think we would. That was my Mourinho point. I think he wouldn't have got a chance. But also, I suppose Jose Mourinho was manager for a lot of them home games where they haven't kept a clean sheet. So, Yeah, the thing is, Liverpool I think will need a little bit of momentum. I thought in the week I mentioned on our sort of post-match show, I was disappointed the way we sort of held at arm's length a little bit by Bayern, whereas I think Liverpool need to force the issue a little bit and take it to them from the get-go. Make them nervous. Don't let them get behind as much as they did. Because even in the game last season, I thought, you know, everyone fancied Liverpool going into it, everyone, and these look much better than they were at that point last season. So I think we need to try and strike them early and then keep going at them. Don't back off, because the last thing you want is them getting a sniff of a Liverpool weakness and getting right behind them.
Kev, you've been there loads of times, same as me, same as Paul, and in the past we've seen sort of Liverpool sides go there and crack, haven't we, basically? They always seem to, you know, an early red card or something stupid, and like, do you trust this side a little bit more not to do that?
Much more so. I think that historically that's been our problem. We've been to Old Trafford loads of times as the better side and with confidence going into the game, and then we get there. And God forbid, sometimes it feels like we're going into the game the way Everton come into the derby. Like we're waiting for the inevitable disaster to happen, do you know what I mean? A red card after 5 minutes for Daniel Agger in Kenny's return. There's loads of examples of that. Or like even down to Trent having a bit of a nightmare day last year when Rashford turned him. Didn't happen again all season, but it always just seems to happen there. Whereas going into this on Sunday, you look at our midfield, and that's where the battles are won and lost, aren't they, most of the time. I remember Gerrard in there, you'd often find him pulling the rest of the team through. Whereas now, you look at it, I'd imagine it's going to be Wijnaldum, Henderson and Fabinho. And you look at them three and you just think, who's going to crack there? There's no one there going to lose their head and do something stupid. And by the same token, there's no one there going to be overawed by anything that they can do. So, listen, we've been there loads of times, as I say, and got our fingers burnt by being overly confident. But I'd say this is the time when we've got the mentality to go there, as this is a game. It's not a game against Man United. We go there, and this is the opportunity to get another 3 points on the board. Whereas in the past, it felt a lot of the time like it was an opportunity to put one on Man United. It's different now. There's a different dynamic to it. So hopefully they've got more in their minds. Oh yeah, we want to do this to Liverpool. Whereas we just want to take it as another game, get the 3 points, and go on with the title challenge.
Klopp's talked loads about this side being mature. He said it over and over. It's a word that's cropped up loads of times in his press conferences. Do you think that this Liverpool side maybe goes there with a little less emotion than previous sides, even the way the manager is? So what I mean about that is, you know, you had, and we all enjoyed it at the time, but you had Benitez, you know, reeling off the facts about Ferguson then saying that come from a place of venom and things like that. You obviously had Scousers in the side, Gerrard, Carragher, etc. Obviously you've got Trent now, but he's not as big, he's not as vocal, he's not as key, if you like. Do you think because of like the likes of the midfield we've got there, the players we've got, the way the manager's just calm and keeps it under, do you think that helps?
Yeah, the mentality-wise, I think this is probably the most mature Liverpool side, maybe in my lifetime. You know, I think Kev's right. It's not one where you think we'll get overexcited by the occasion, that they'll just go out and do the business. You look at the team that you'd expect to go. You've got leaders in it. You know, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Van Dijk, Salah. You've got loads of lads who are captain of the country within the squad, which tells you that they're mentally sound, leaders, respected in dressing rooms, all that sort of stuff. But it's the occasion thing, and sometimes I used to think it used to get the better of Gerrard, and we've seen that in derbies, we've seen that in Man United matches, big fixtures, whatever.
Sent off in, 48 seconds at home against Man United?
That's when he came on as a sub, so he was sent on to fix thing, the occasion got him. You wouldn't expect that from Fabinho, for example, or Henderson, Van Dijk. These lads, I'm not saying that Steven Gerrard's not a winner, but I think they sort of, they're winners in the sense where they get it. They get that they've got to be calm. And
I think they can do it as well from a place of Van Dijk, Alisson, Henderson. They're doing it for the football club, whereas Gerrard often had the weight of the world on his shoulders. Do you know what I mean? He had every Liverpoolian, all 20 million or however many there is, every single one of them. It felt like he had every one of them in his ear. Whereas these players can sort of take the step back, especially look, Van Dijk. Henderson's been brilliant recently, but Van Dijk is like a second captain and probably a first captain on the pitch. So you just can't see him letting anyone get into the state where they're thinking, oh my God, the pressure's on me. Because he's just so calm and relaxed himself. And they know if they look across to him, if Rashford's all over him, if Lukaku's trying to tag him out, and he's just standing tall, doing his bit, it must bring an absolute order of calm around the rest of the team. And even with the goalie in goal, they're going to get a chance. They're guaranteed to get a chance on Sunday because they always do. 9 times out of 10 in the past, you think they get a chance to score, whereas now it's not as clear cut as that. So I think that gives the rest of the team such a lift and it is the calmness and reassurance we need, because it's not going to be a case of going out and blowing them away on Sunday. Because if any game was going to be that, it was Bayern Munich the other day, and we didn't do it. So the likelihood of us doing it on Sunday is very little. So I think the control element of our game is where we'll win it on Sunday if we do.
Okay, well, how will the two sides set up? What indeed will the teams be? Here's Neil Atkinson with the tactics board. He's going to try and second guess what the manager is going to do this weekend.
For the purposes of this, Liverpool are in yellow, which is the away colour I always like us to be in, and Manchester United are in red. I believe we're wearing the whitey grey number at the weekend. Not that that really should matter, although it always feels unlucky to me. Made up that Liverpool are coming up against a Manchester United side without Jesse Lingard, and you wouldn't have thought you'd have said that. But Lingard was massive for United against Tottenham earlier this season in terms of he played in a bit of a false nine, he put lots and lots of pressure on around Tottenham and made things really awkward for them for the first half an hour of the game. Tottenham got to grips with it. They're a good side, of course they do. And they've also then put lots and lots of pressure on the Man United goal, elicited an unbelievable number of saves from David De Gea, who will obviously be playing for Manchester United this weekend. My point here is it's quite difficult to work out which Manchester United is going to turn up. We saw Lingard go off against Paris Saint-Germain, and the expectation is that Lingard and Martial will not be able to make this one against Liverpool. If we work from that basis, we've not really got a lot of data on what United are going to do. We all saw them play well against Chelsea midweek, but then this is a Chelsea side who at the minute look in an absolute state of crisis. So what can you actually garner from that performance? Liverpool's data analysts will not know a lot about how Solskjaer wants to approach big games because he's not actually managed that many big games. What I've got here is approximately what they did against Chelsea, which was they had Mata getting around Jorginho. They had Lukaku and Rashford. Pogba with a lot of licence here to move about. Herrera doing loads and loads of donkey work over on this side of the pitch. And this little left-hand-sided issue/triangle for Liverpool to deal with. Luke Shaw at left-back, bombing on, getting involved, and everyone pulling this way a little bit. One thing you have seen from Manchester United under Solskjaer is there's been lots of phases of playing games where all of the players are on one side of the pitch pretty much. The vast majority of them come over and look to compact and play in small, tight areas and see if they can spring themselves from there. They've been doing a fair bit of that, and you can see that in the average positions in different phases of the game, that they look to really come in tight in little areas and do bits and pieces. But they might not play Mata. They might not even start Lukaku. We might go with Sanchez instead. It's really difficult to know what it is that he's going to do because he's really not had to do a great deal of it. And now we find ourselves without Martial and Lingard. And if anything, that makes Liverpool's tactical setup a little trickier because they'd probably be able to guess what they'd do if those two were available. As I say, I would expect Smalling to keep his place. I'd expect Lindelof. I would expect Ashley Young to do a job at right back and Luke Shaw to do a job at left back, although in Manchester United minds might be how well Young plays against Salah last season. But that was a different United, a more compact United defensively. That might be, they might decide that that's not the way in which they want to go with this one, and they may be a little looser in that area of the pitch. It'll be Pogba here, it will be Matic there, it will be Herrera there, and then the question marks up here. Rashford definitely starts. Which side, we'll find out. And then what do they do? Does he pick Sanchez? Does he give him the opportunity? Does he go with Lukaku? I suspect he will go with Lukaku, and that leaves one place up for grabs. I just can't quite see it, though, being one Mata from the start.
All right, nice one to Neil there. So yeah, just carry on talking about this game. But looking back at Anfield in December, it was obviously 3-1. Mane opened the score and Lingard got one back, and then the deflected double from Shaqiri when he comes off the bench. I mean, what are you expecting from the sides? I mean, you've touched on it before, but Shaqiri's possibly in contention again. He was on the bench the other night. Do you expect to see him involved, or do you think he's the one that you keep back and then you bring him on if it's going wrong, or you need to win it, or you need to force it, or you need to get a goal back?
Yeah, I would use him in that fashion. Yeah. I think the midfield Kev said earlier in the show is the one I'm expecting. Van Dijk and Matip at centre-half. With the, what did we say, it was Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Henderson, and that is the midfield I would go with the front three. I think that would resist. That would be the one where if Manchester United started having to go, they're the three I'd have wanted to have picked, but also it's got enough in there. I quite like it when Fabinho and Henderson play together because one will let the other one go and influence play a little bit. So
no shout for Milner?
No, not really. I think now that we've been able to get our proper back four on the pitch, that it has dropped him down the pecking order a little bit for me, just because I like that Fabinho Henderson axis that we seem to have. Wijnaldum for me probably the first name on the team sheet, so Yeah, that's the midfield I'd go with. And if we need to change it, then we've seen what Shaqiri
Do
can
you
do.
want to see, because he's done different things with Wijnaldum even in that setup, hasn't he? What Wijnaldum do you want to see at Old Trafford? Do you want to see the one who's joining in higher up more?
I think that's his role for the end of the season now, because I think, as you said, they were Henderson and Fabinho, one sits and one goes a little bit, and they sort of interchange it. But when they do play, it has released Wijnaldum further up the pitch, and I think he looks really good when he's doing that, because he's got the ability to hold onto the ball when you need to, but also his passing's excellent. I know he was a little bit off the other day, but his passing, and especially his short passing and give and go, which is exactly what we need to do to break teams down. So I reckon play him a little bit further up, let the other two do the battling, and it's like having a fourth attacker. Listen, his goal scoring record's not there, but he's only just started playing it in that more attacking role. What I'd say is as well, if you play them three in the middle, and you have Milner on the subs bench, what a sub to bring on. He was brilliant when he came on against Bayern Munich the other night, wasn't he? He
clattered that lad straight away.
Straight away, and he was harrying everybody. He just lifted the levels a little bit, which at Old Trafford is something you could really do.
You could imagine they're the first two subs, couldn't you, Shaqiri and Milner? You know, in any scenario, really. So if it's tight, you could bring them on just to put a bit of impetus back into the team, but also with Milner especially, if Liverpool are winning and they need to protect it, what a great sub to bring on. You know, you get 90 minutes work out of him in 30 or 20 or whatever. I think for the first time, by having a first choice back four, a proper back four, no square pegs and round holes, that it's going to give us so many more options off the bench, further up the pitch, and we get to put our first choice midfield out.
Now, the other thing is, if you let Manx into your life, Kev, if you listen to what they're saying...
Well, I've never done it yet, so I don't know where you're going with this, mate. They've all been well and truly put out the back, no chance.
What they're banging on about, if you go into their little world on Twitter, for instance, or you look what they're writing at the moment, they're all saying that Salah's just not done it against them. He's done it everywhere else. He's done it against all the other opposition.
Nice one, boys. There's the Salah hat-trick.
Against them, he's not done it so much, and there's all this talk how he's always in Ashley Young's pocket and all this kind of stuff. Is there a thing there? Is there an Ian Rush Man United thing there, or is it just them and the fact that they were set up by Mourinho previously and things like that? Could Mo go there and influence it massively, is what I'm saying?
Mo could go anywhere and influence it massively, can't he? Listen, if I was them, I'd probably be thinking, yeah, Ashley Young has got him in his pocket. Even they know deep down that isn't true. Ashley Young's shite. Do you know what I mean? Mo Salah's one of the best players in the world, and Ashley Young's had his day long ago. He's the type of player, especially at the moment, where he looks as though he could do it. Just a little run of 2 or 3 goals in 2 or 3 games. The way Mane's had the little run now. But the thing is, he's the type of player who could get 2 or 3 goals in one half of football, never mind 2 or 3 games. So you probably see at the weekend again, I would have thought Firmino furthest up and having him come off the wing, just because United have got the wingers that want to go the other way and will leave the space in behind. So it's not great for our defence. If you've got Salah on the side there, Firmino probably does a little bit more work, but it's great for bang into the space right behind them, and then you've got to cut back across. So listen, Salah, it won't betide anybody who tempts fate on him not scoring as well.
There's little moans from our lot as well, though. You know, this isn't just Manx, so there's little moans from our saying, although he's right up there, he's top scorer and all the rest of it, I still see little moans here and there about he's not doing it regularly, he's not playing that well, all this kind of stuff. And yeah, you know, the fact is that if he scores on Sunday, it'll make him the fastest player in Premier League history to reach 50 goals for a single club. He would have done it in just 63 appearances, breaking Alan Shearer's record, which is 66.
I hope he's not doing it long term. I mean, Kev's having a little bit of needle there. I mean, right. Last year when we went to Old Trafford, I thought Ashley Young was outstanding. But the thing is, this year he's playing right. I imagine he's going to be right through the middle, running at shite this year, and that is going to be a bit of a difference. Where I would be surprised, like he plays right on Tuesday night, doesn't he? But I would imagine he'd be right through the middle of them this week with Firmino dropping in. So yeah, he's got Phil Jones and some other yard dog to worry about maybe at the weekend. I'm sure Neil's cleared that up.
There's an interesting thing. I mean, Neil may have touched on it with that stuff, but there's an interesting thing about the old mind games here to finish up in that. United may, and I'll massively say may in big capital letters, maybe without Lingard and Martial, because both came off against PSG. And straight away, Solskjaer's like, well, they'll miss the next 2 games. And they don't play against Chelsea. But it would be very United, very Ferguson, for them to all of a sudden miraculously be fit, wouldn't it?
I don't think he's going to talk about facts, is he? You know, I think
No.
he doesn't want to play mind games too early. No, I don't know. You know, if Klopp was being a bit loose with the team, I'd be a bit disappointed. So I can understand what Solskjaer is doing.
They'd be a miss for them, though, wouldn't they? Because without them, they look like they're lacking pace a little bit.
Yeah, and I think Martial and Lingard are. Well, I think Lingard's very underrated, but I think Martial's been one of the players with Pogba that has helped this resurgence. He's another one where they've got the best out of. So if he's not playing great, but I think Manchester United will be doing everything possible to get both of them on the pitch.
And so they should do, because that's their unit, isn't it? Pogba in the middle, Rashford, Martial and Lingard up front. It's like taking two of our front three out and taking Fabinho to the midfield, do you know what I mean? It's going to be a miss for anybody. Lingard, as much as people want to slag him off, he knows how to pop up with a goal. And as you said, he's absolutely rapid. Martial is an absolutely great player. I think, depending on who is their next manager, I hope it is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think they might have their Kenny Dalglish moments if they give it to him. So hopefully let them win the FA Cup, whatever, and keep him in the job. But if he can get if Martial can get a manager who trusts him and gives him the responsibility on the pitch, he's an absolute world superstar in waiting, I think. So hopefully he will miss out, because if he does come back, he would be a worry for him.
The other thing is, we know City. We know we're in City's heads. We know that Pep Guardiola can't stop thinking about Liverpool. He was talking about us in a press conference the other day, and we weren't even playing. So you know, we know that they'll be watching this, and we know that they'll be watching it going, this is where Liverpool are going to drop points. Is a draw the worst result in the world?
Just in terms of being top in our own right, even if it's just by a point, that's fine. But we're talking about going to a side that are fifth, sixth best in the country, and we're trying to be the first. I think we've got to go and try and win. It's not, don't get me wrong, if the way the game shapes and it ends up being a draw, and you can come away going, draw's a fair result, and we'll take the draw, you feel happy because of the circumstances in the game, fine. But for me, I think you've got to go and try and win, regardless of it being Manchester United away. Liverpool have got to keep winning. And the thing is, imagine being in that dressing room at Wembley, playing Chelsea, that we've just won, we're 3 points clear in our own right. That's going to be horrible for them. Obviously, they find a way to win last night, City. But with all these competitions they've got to play in all these more games, Liverpool just being 3 points clear in their own right, they've got to go and play Chelsea then. It'll put a bit of a mental blow across City, I think, and yeah, I'm all up for that.
Yeah, for that, Kev?
A draw, listen, in the scheme of things, if you're just looking at it, like objectively, is fine. But it for what it actually means to get the 3 points, as you said, to be 3 points clear in our own right with 10, 11 games to go is massive. And also, if we do draw, obviously you'd expect them to then, well, in fact, no, so we'll be a level point, won't we? So they'll be a point behind us. In their edge, they're probably thinking, we've clawed 7 points back here. And now, that's got to do with games played and whatnot. So just a mental thing for them, I think it'll give them a lift. And I think it'll just give a little bit more edginess to not just our players, or maybe not even necessarily our players, but just to the whole club, as in fan base and the media.
But also, we've then been to Manchester United away, and they've still got to go there, you know, and these are just the little... I know these are victories on paper.
It's the toughest away left on paper, isn't it, for Liverpool?
Yeah, and for them. So we've both got Tottenham to come, I think, and we've both got Chelsea to come, am I right in saying? But
we're at home now.
Yeah, we're at home. But the getting the 3 points at Old Trafford with them still to go there in what will then become the biggest fixture of the season for them will be a good mental blow to do, and we've just got to, that's why I think a win is massive, because I don't want to spend the rest of the season talking about goal difference. I want to just crack on, win this league.
Talking about goal difference, that's not something I'm going to be doing between now and May, because they're going to score more goals than us. It's just a fact. So we need to be thinking about that now, because it's 10 games out or whatever it is. We can't be relying on goal difference, because we'll get 8.
Yeah.
Predictions then? Finish?
I fancy us. I do fancy us. I think we're due a big performance as well. So I'm going to go 2-1 the Reds.
Yeah, I'll say 2-1. I think that's... You can't see them not scoring, but I can see us getting a couple. So yeah, 2-1 will do me.
2-1 will do any win will do us, Red. So go on, do it. Sink the Manx. We'd love you too, Liverpool. There's loads more stuff on the Anfield app over the weekend. Obviously, we'll be at the game. We'll be covering the game. There'll be podcasts. There'll be videos. There'll be stuff on the site, theanfieldapp.com, as ever. And there'll be post-match stuff as well, a podcast and a video, as ever. So get on all of those things. Cheer on the Reds. Up the Reds. Come on, Liverpool.